this reminds me so much of all the times that I came here and spoke in this same room to an audience just like you. Andy wanted me to be sure to tell you the funny story, which is about 5 years ago, there was two young ladies in the program. They were roommates. They were both from the same city in Russia. And I ended up hiring one to work on a research project. And Andy hired the other one. These were roommates who both went on to work for us. The young lady that worked for me did two interesting things. One is she got married. The second is she got a PhD from a Danish university. And now, how many years, maybe 6, 7 years later, she is looking for a job in the United States, coming back. But it was a great pleasure to come back and visit and be able to talk to you. Let me just give you a short piece of who I am. I mean, who's this guy who comes in and takes up our valuable time? I teach at a university that has a food marketing program, both a master's, a doctoral, a master's, and an undergraduate degree. We specialize, obviously, in food marketing. Now, you'd say, how much different is that than coming and getting a degree in marketing? Not a lot, except that that's all we talk about is, the Kellogg's of the world, the Frito-Lays of the world. We're just talking about things specific to them, not about insurance or not about management but strictly about food marketing, strictly about figuring out what it is that consumers want and what it is we have to do. You see, a lot of people really don't know what marketing is. Marketing is not making people buy what you want to make, but making what people want to buy. And so it means that we're always out. Research is probably one of the most important areas in food marketing because we know that people's tastes are changing. What my granddaughters who are in college want is nothing in terms of food, is nothing like what I wanted when I was in college. Of course, mostly when I was in college, I wanted beer. That's why it took me so long. But the nice thing is, 100% of our students, every student has a job offer before they graduate. In their second semester of senior year, they have a job. It's hard to teach in those years, right? Because you can imagine, imagine you're sitting here and you got a job and you're just waiting for that professor to end it. I want to get to work. I want to make money. Stop lecturing. Harder to be a professor during that time. Most of the graduates, people in the master's degree program, are people that have had a job. They have a job in the food industry. The programs are taught online, so you don't have to be in the Philadelphia area. They all have jobs, but they want to learn more. They want to know more. And that makes it more fun. That really makes it more fun. The doctoral degree is new, and we don't know what's going to happen with them. A little bit about my background. I didn't graduate in anything like food marketing or anything like that from my PhD. Um, Actually, people say, "Why did I get a PhD?" I'm going to be honest with you. Uh, I found out that if you were in the university, you didn't get drafted for the Vietnam War. I was against the war. I had long hair all the way down to my shoulders and a big beard, and I was against the war. And I got my bachelor's degree in marketing, in actually an engineering program. And when I graduated, I got a letter saying I'm now eligible for the draft. Well, I still was against the war. I just went back to school again. And I kept going back to school until there was no more draft. But I discovered something. I discovered I really loved learning. And one of the nice things about doctoral programs, PhD programs, it really has more emphasis on learning than it does just taking courses. And I just discovered how much I enjoy that. I got my first job, and by chance, really, a company called Campbell Soup Company, if you're familiar with that, they asked me to do a research project for them. And just like discovering that I love to learn, I now discovered I really love the food industry, you know. And so I went on to do things in the food industry. I've written about 15 books. I have over 100 peer-reviewed articles. I am actually in 3 different halls of fame. I'm in the Private Label Hall of Fame, or you might think of it as store brands, things like that. I'm in the European Retail Association Hall of Fame. And I'm also in a very technical field called Trade Promotion Optimization Hall of Fame. And guess what? What I learned from this is the people who decide who will be in the Hall of Fame aren't very smart. What makes the food marketing program so interesting? The main thing is things are changing all the time. You know, if you want to be in a field where you come in every day and it's got the same things to deal with, don't go in the food industry. The food industry is filled with changes. And there are 2 areas where the change is really, can everyone understand me, by the way? We do, okay, yeah. There are changes in what the consumer wants. There's changes in the technology of how they sell the food. So you've got these 2 changes, and we have to keep track of that, because always we know we can't get consumers to buy what we want to make. It's not like watches, you know. Rolex makes same watches they want to make, and they can sell them at high prices. That's a great industry. How things going today? The same as yesterday. Great. Have you thought about how much these changes are taking place? What's changing? The main thing is we have want to make sure I include them all here. Online shopping. People don't have to go to the grocery store. This is skyrocketing in terms of the number of people who buy food online from their supermarket. And what do you think? Like what does the potato chip company think about this? It's terrible because they sell a high percentage of people who are walking along the aisles and say, "Oh, I'll grab those." Called impulse purchasing. A high percentage of consumer sales of potato chips or snack foods in general is impulse. I got to get dinner for tonight. We got to try not to fall. My wife is here to pick me up. Don't worry about it. I can deal. Yeah.
That's why online shopping is better.
What's that?
Exactly.
I'll have some of this. I'll have some of this. How does, or I should say, how do these supermarkets stay in business when no one's coming into the store? Well, first of all, people are coming into the store, just not as many. So what should our objective be? Our objective should be, when they come to the store, make sure they leave spending more than they think. You know who's the best? Have you heard of a company called Costco? Yes. Costco sales is more than many countries in the world. And part of it is thanks to my wife, Carol, and I. Yeah, I'm serious. You go into that store and you say, "Carol, we're not spending more than $200. The last time we came in this store, we spent $300 on one shopping trip. That's the end." And as I watch checkout this time was $350. They're unbelievable in getting you to spend while you're in the store. Now, part of the way they do this is have a wide variety of products. There's always something there new that you hadn't thought about. The last time I was there, I play golf. I bought golf glove. It was only $10 maybe. $10. $10 more that I had never spent before on a product like golf gloves. I didn't plan on getting golf gloves. So the strategy of grocery stores has to be focused more on getting more per trip. What else is changing? Is something called DoorDash. You know what DoorDash is? DoorDash is just a little bit different than online shopping. DoorDash is getting your meal from any restaurant in the area, getting the meal delivered to you. You can get chicken parmesan. I mean, you get what? The Italian restaurant sells the complete meal. That's taking business from everybody. That's a whole new possibility. I know of one person, it's not good, may even be a mental illness, but every meal she eats is delivered to her. She gets up, I think I'll have pancakes this morning. Pancake house, send DoorDash. Talk about different. Talk about different. It was only in the 1950s that my mother bought everything from a grocery store, except about once every 3 weeks, we went to a restaurant. What changed? You can buy food everywhere. You can buy good food at a convenience store or when you stop to buy gas. Now, in the U.S., like 10 years ago, all you could buy was pretzels and potato chips and maybe a hot dog. Now, it's unbelievable how much all these convenience stores and gas stations and things, how much food they're selling. And how do they sell food, I mean, what's the motivation for selling food? Well, I'm here, I've already stopped, I'm getting gas. I guess I'll go in and see what I can pick up for dinner. They have fresh salads. Good, fresh salads at a grocery store. How do we, as food marketers, do two things? Advise grocery stores what they have to do, or, convenience stores or gas stations. And second is, make sure that we understand where consumers are going. If you had to put your finger on one word of what consumers are looking for, it's convenience. So what will be convenient today won't be convenient in a few days, in a few years. See, we have to decide what's next. Telling a grocery store that they're losing sales because fewer consumers are coming in your grocery store. I mean, they would say, I think we knew that. It's like a consultant wanting to come in and tell them what's happening. Boy, if we told them what's happening, they'd throw us out the front door. They want to know what will happen. One of the things that I think are really interesting, remember I said the channel, everyone has to, this is my favorite. Years ago, a company called AC Nielsen used to go into every grocery store in America and would say, how much had been sold, are the prices correct on the shelf, is the planogram where everything's, is that all that correct, etc. And they go into the store and they'd say, oh, good, it's good here, no changes necessary, and off he or she would go to the next store. Today, we have robots, and the robot goes down the shelf with photographing using that's like not facial recognition, it's recognition of everything on the shelf. And it goes down the shelf and it records, is everything in the right place? Is the price correct? Is the right varieties on the shelf? At the end of a shelf, they usually have a special kind of thing. Are you familiar with that? They call that an end shelf, not an end cap. You see why she's here? Carol has her master's degree in food marketing. That's so it tells you everything. So big deal. We once had a person do it. Now we have not quite. The robot sends the message to the warehouse, and the only stores that humans have to go to are the stores that have a problem. Most stores don't have a problem. We're sending people. We're paying for their lunch. We're paying for their car. We're giving them a salary. We give them time to drive between stores, and the stores don't need any help. It's a huge waste of money that these robots are saving. Well, what's going to happen to the humans? I'm going to tell you for a fact. They're going to do one of two things. They're either going to learn how to make robots.
Or lose jobs.
Or they what?
Lose jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, find another job. And people say, well, that could be thousands of people. The world will come to an end. It won't. You know, I'm going to tell you something that you probably never knew. When I was old enough to understand how to use a telephone, you would pick up the phone and an operator would say, "Number, please." And you would tell them the number you wanted. And there were hundreds of thousands of these operators all over the United States. And they went to where we pick up the telephone, we listen for a dial tone, and then we dial our number. And 100,000 operators were fired or offered a better job in the business. And people said that's going to be the end of the world. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And guess what? It wasn't the end of the world. New technology will always be better than old technology. A lot of people in the next, at least in the food industry, next few years are probably going to have to find new jobs. Now, there's no doubt about the fact that I think one thing will be quite permanent. One person is going to speak to one buyer about why their product is better for the consumers and for them. It may be electronic. It may be Zoom. The fact that we have technology to help us does not mean we all have to go away.
Adapt.
You have to adapt. And one of the nice things is that we have so many different ways now of communicating with buyers. Just imagine how important a buyer is for Walmart. They will likely sell in their stores more than many of the other supermarkets combined. Walmart was the #1 food seller in the United States. If we took, and I just did this recently. I just did this for a court case. Walmart is #1, and you have #2, 3, and 4. If you add the sales of 2, 3, and 4, it's not as big as Walmart. So imagine if you're a salesperson and you get to go in and talk to a buyer at Walmart that if they buy your product, they could be the biggest customer they have. Would you want to send the person down? If I told you that you could make more money on Walmart than all your other customers combined, will you treat Walmart like special? Of course you will. Of course you will. Even though the trend is to get people away from face-to-face meeting. For some stores, some buyers, they're always going to have face-to-face meetings. There's kind of smaller things that save a lot of money, but you hardly notice them. One is electronic shelf tags. In years, well, probably most stores now still, if you decided to change the price, you had to send someone to that part of the store. You got to take off the price tag on the shelf, put a new price on it, and change it in the computer. There's about 4 places that you can make a mistake when you're doing traditional pricing. You can put the wrong price on. You can put the wrong varieties on sale. You can fail to get it changed in the computer. That's 3 places. I forget the 4th. What this does is, by making it possible to just go in the computer, change the price, get the exact price. You know, when you're working with the computer, you can't say, change the price on some things. And you got to tell them exactly what product, you know, what flavor, what size, every detail. And it changes it at the cash register, and it changes it instantly on the price. Now, some of the things that are impossible today without doing that. I'm sure if you shopped at different times in a supermarket, you would see at different times different people in the stores. You see when a lot of young people are there. You see when a lot of old people are there. I wasn't thinking of me, of course. You see college students. You see people that have been working, you know, out in the roads and the streets. Each one of those value different things. But you couldn't, think about this, you couldn't have different prices for different people. Now you can. Now you can. You can say on Tuesdays and Wednesday morning, we're going to lower some prices on these products. We're going to increase some prices on this product, because we know that older people buy certain products and not for other products. When the hard-working people around the world, or in America, when they come into the store, they need to save every penny they have. If you want them to come to your store, you've got to bring that price down as low as possible. Guess what? You can do it in 10 minutes. 5 years ago, it was impossible. I mean, you know, people would sit around the desk and chuckle. Well, that's a good idea, John, but that's frankly impossible. It's not only impossible today, you can do it, along with all sorts of electronic signage. You know, on certain days and at certain times, you can give discounts to college students. You can not just change the prices on products, but your signage can be just for the people who are in the store. Matter of fact, a company called Ahold, which is a Dutch company. Anyone here from Holland? A Dutch company. Someone here from a Dutch company is setting it up so that when you walk in the store, you swipe your card. Thank you. The signage is not only based on who might be in the store, now the signage is who is in the store. So if it ends up with mothers with small children, the baby food goes on sale. Diapers go on sale. And by the way, if you haven't guessed from this, we need technical people in our food industry. People that can help us make these changes, take advantage of the current technology. When the food companies come and recruit students from St. Joe's, I'm happy to say food marketing majors are the #1 recruiting place. What's number 2? What we call DSS, the people that do the programming and system design, and the people that have the knowledge to say, no, this is possible. Let me tell you how it's possible. Well, then we say, well, let me tell you how much it's going to cost. I'd like you to know the main thing about food marketing is it's fun. It's fun because we're always looking for new things. We're always looking for new ways of getting people what they want, where they want it, for the price that they want to pay. And every day we work on doing these things. It's a fun field. It's an unusual field. Our university is a small Catholic private school. And they teach food marketing. To my knowledge, there's only 5 other food marketing courses in the United States. We were ranked by a company that ranked worldwide food programs. We were food marketing. We were number 9 in the world, but number 2 in the United States. We are what's called Aacsb accredited. Only 15% of business schools worldwide are accredited in business. We are accredited. Matter of fact, it's a nightmare where you go through accreditation process every 5 years. This year is the year we're going through this process. It's a fun field. So let me ask you, have any questions about it? Any thoughts? Anything about this? Before I do that, I'm always fascinated. I've traveled a lot. I've been to almost 100 countries. So I love to hear where people are from, and I think about what the food marketing system is in this country. And I just, I did a long-term consulting project for a grocery store chain in Sri Lanka. And, even in quite underdeveloped places like Sri Lanka, they have a remarkably good retail food store organization. But it has a guy, an owner, that says, I want to be the best I can be. And he did. Questions for me? Questions for me? Got 6 minutes.
You mentioned that the new processing has to be 5 years.
The new processing?
Like
Credit about business.
Yes, like for the food marketing.
Right.
But I guess it should be faster now because the technology is much
It
faster.
is much, much, much faster. I'm sure you've seen the things where how long it took to get televisions in American households, how long it took to get each year, every new technology gets adapted quicker. And the same thing is true on the business side.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
But
it's going faster.
what does it require to be changed? What are the requirements and who is responsible?
Well, the the food industry can be characterized as being slow to bring in new technology. And one of the problems are with technologists, because technologists come in and say, look at what we can do now. Look at what we can do. And the food industry is saying, I don't care what you can do. What do I need to have done? The technology industry is a little too focused on all the neat stuff that you can do. And what you need to do is say, I can make you better because we can do this. That's that. Now, there's some industries, the automotive industry, that really want to adapt something new. The food industry does not really want to adapt something new. They'd rather do the same old thing unless you can tell them how they do it better.
Convincing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good question, though. No more? Yes, sir.
Kind of on top of what you just said, with Amir, you were saying that, okay, marketing in general, in food marketing, we should care about what people want and what they need, so we can offer them that exact thing.
Yeah.
On the other hand, technology opens up so many possibilities. As you said, a simple example of food delivery in my house. Which one goes first? I mean, technology can affect
Yeah.
our behavior and our desires, or it goes the other way around. Especially in an industry like the food industry, which they are not that much quick.
Yeah, not quick. Absolutely. Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah. First of all, that's a really good question, too. They're two really good questions. Because the food industry is slow, what you need is an example, a company that's willing to try it. So I have advised the technology people, like the people that had the robots and things, not to go off and say, how many supermarkets can we tell about this? But find a partner who's willing to work with you to see if you can't come up with working technology. Because the one thing about the supermarket industry, they want to be first at being second. Right? They want to be first at being second. They want to wait to see someone else do it, and then they want to rush to do it. And that's what happened, by the way, is a lot of companies. I'm trying to think of what one it was. One of the big companies had a great success. Everyone said, we'll like to try, and they didn't have enough employees. They didn't have enough money capital to do all this stuff, and they went out of business. The one that was first went out of business because they weren't prepared for what it was like to be second in the food industry. I would say this: if you're interested in technology, try to be expert in some industry. Say that all the people are graduating from college with technical degrees, but I know the automobile industry, right? I know the insurance business. I'm not going to do stupid things because I don't really know your industry. Be expert in some industry. Our educational system is not geared to do that, right? You take a marketing course. You're going to talk about some fake company that's a. They're not going to talk about the insurance industry. And that would be your duty to try and learn more about some industry. So you can say, I'm expert in this. I know this. I mean, our food marketing students can't say to Kellogg, I'm expert, but they can say, I know more about your industry than any other people graduating, except in our own school. Okay. Good. Well, it's been a great pleasure to see you all. To my Arab friends, salam alaikum. And maybe I'll see you again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you.